There's one simple way to master the art of making AI videos, and if you don't know what it is, you'll be stuck forever testing all kinds of random tips and tricks only to get average results. So, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system I've been personally using for the last 3 years to get full control over my AI videos and make them look cinematic, and to show you how big the difference actually is between what you're getting right now and what this system gives you. I'm going inside OpenArt. Now, if you've never heard of OpenArt before, it's basically an all-in-one platform that gives you access to all the best image and video generators out there. So I'll leave a link to it in the description down below if you want to follow along with this tutorial. Once you're inside, this is the homepage you'll see, and most of our work will happen in the video section, so let's go there. Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on here, but all of this is what gives you insane control over the result once you know the system I'm about to show you. At the top, you can select the video model like Seedance, Omni, VO, and all the other popular ones. And for now, if you don't know how each one works, let's just go with Seedance 2.0. Though by the time you're watching this video, Seedance 2.5 is already out. I'll talk a little more about it later in the video, but everything I'm showing you here still applies. We'll do a proper breakdown of each model later on, so you know which one is better and when to use it, depending on the videos you want to create. Now, for the prompt, I'll write something you've probably done before. I call it lazy prompting, where you just say something like a man walking down a city street at night. It's not bad, but it's very basic. So for the other settings, I'll leave the audio on. For the mode, I'll go with normal, set the output to 16:9, the resolution to 1080p, and the duration to 12 seconds. And then I'll press generate. And here's what we get. In my opinion, this is really solid. We asked for a man walking down the street at night, and that's exactly what we get. And some of you might even be thinking, okay, but what's the problem here? This really does look good. Well, that's because AI has gotten so good nowadays that even a lazy prompt like this gives you decent results. But if I'm being completely honest, there are 3 huge disadvantages. The first one is that you have absolutely no control over your character. Inside our prompt, we simply set a man walking. So we let the AI decide how he looks, what outfit he wears, what emotion he's transmitting to the viewers, and everything else. So you are basically giving the AI all the power when it comes to your character. And the second one is that you do exactly the same thing with how the entire video is shot, from the camera angle to how the action unfolds across the video. And this isn't bad in itself, but because you're not being specific about what you want, you're letting the AI choose for you, which is exactly why people who use lazy prompting don't get extremely good videos. And the third one is that you're gambling on the video you get instead of directing it. And this happens because you don't control the details inside. So you just regenerate the video over and over again, hoping the AI will finally match the idea you had in your head. And that's not what real creators do. But if you're still not convinced, let me run the same prompt 3 times and show you how little control you actually have. So here's what I'll write. So let's take a look at the first generation. Here, we can see the car from a distance, like a wide shot. But here's what I got the second time I regenerated it using the exact same prompt. As you can see now, it's basically filming the driver inside the car with a close-up. And when I generated it the third time, I got something completely different. I got a POV where you're looking out through the windshield from inside the car. So when you write these types of lazy prompts, you're gambling with the AI and you never know what you're going to get. But that's not what you want if you're trying to master AI videos. And that brings us to the actual system I've been using for years. And this system is all about getting control back over the AI. This is so important that I actually made an entire document on it. It's completely free and you can find it in the description below. Now, there are 3 big categories here that you want to master, but depending on your situation and the video you want to get, you don't need full control over each one. For example, in some cases, I'll personally use a lazy prompt for a category I don't really care about. Lazy prompting isn't bad in itself. It's simply letting the AI decide what to create in a certain category of your video. And if you don't care that much about it, you can let the AI decide those details. But out of the 3 categories, I always want to have full control over at least 2 of them. So let's actually start with the first one, which is the action. If I were going to use lazy prompting here, I'd write this prompt and get this type of result. But let's see how we can change everything you've just seen with a more specific prompt. This is it. As you can see, I wrote it in plain English. And besides giving a more detailed description of how she looks, I also tell the AI the exact actions I want her to do. Things like cracking the egg, pushing it around, and brushing that loose strand of hair back with her wrist. But you don't have to worry about writing the entire prompt, because I actually included everything inside the free document I told you about earlier. So let's generate it and look at the result. Now, you can finally see the difference. She's doing exactly what we asked for. And because we were so specific with the action details, the entire video feels way more natural. But besides the action, we also need to get control of the environment, and more specifically, the lighting, which is actually the second category. So if I use this lazy prompt, I get this decent video. But what happens if I want full control over the lighting and the shadows. Well, to recreate this video and get full control over it, I'm going to write this prompt. And before I even generate, I want you to know that what I'm looking for here is that overhead light that combines the shadows with the darkness. So let's press generate and see what it gives us. Well, the difference is huge. Now the AI followed our prompt exactly, and our boxer is in a much darker and more mysterious environment. And now the last category, which is honestly my favorite, is the mood and energy. And this is what separates boring videos from those that actually make you feel something. But first, let's test it out with the lazy prompt. And this is the result we get. In terms of cinematography, this looks really good, but there's no emotion to it. So what I'll do is change the prompt to this one. It has multiple parts that will create an amazing shot, including the camera movement, the story arc, and even the lighting. And with this combination, I know we'll get something amazing, so let's see what it generates. Well, now you can actually feel the intensity of the video, and as it progresses, it actually becomes scary because you don't know what that big thing in the background is. Plus, the combination between the cold lighting from the planet and the warmer light from the lava gives it this really interesting mood and energy. And once you know how to control at least 2 out of these 3 categories, you'll be shocked by the quality and the control you'll have over your videos. But the truth is, this only works if you're using the right video generator, because if not, you can write the best prompt ever and still get bad results. So the way I find the right one is by generating a very simple and quite boring video. But there is actually a reason for that. When you try to create those big and flashy AI videos, the model usually finds ways to hide its mistakes. It can be through explosions or fast camera movements, but if I ask for a calm human moment, it can't do that. So now I'll go inside OpenArt, click on the video section, and test the 4 most popular video generators one by one. Now the prompt will be exactly the same for all of them, and it looks like this. And for all of them, I'll go with a duration of 8 seconds. So let's first try with Seedance 2.0, and here's what it gives us.
He actually remembered.
In my opinion, this feels extremely realistic because all the facial expressions are there and they match what she's saying. She goes from seeing the message to smiling to staying in the moment and thinking about how important this actually is for her. And then she smiles again because she feels appreciated. And by the way, here's the exact same test using the newest version, Seedance 2.5.
He actually remembered.
And the result is actually much better. If you remember, our prompt specifically told the model to hold a warm mug with both hands. Seedance 2 didn't get that right, but Seedance 2.5 nailed it. That's a really good example of one of the improvements with the newer model. It's much better at actually following the details in your prompt. Now, let's switch up the model and see what Kling 3.0 will do with it.
He actually remembered.
And this one is also a very good generation because it transmits all the emotions I wanted. The only small mistake I would point out is that she's looking down at the phone before she actually gets the notification, which feels a bit weird. Now, I don't have any expectations from Grok Video based on what I've seen online, but let's switch it up and take a look at the result.
He actually remembered.
You can clearly see the emotion here, but her face looks like AI from a mile away. So it's clearly weaker than the other generators. Now, let's test the 4th one, which is Google VO 3.1.
He actually remembered.
Wow, I don't think this is even acceptable in 2026. All of a sudden, this girl has 3 hands. She's talking without moving her lips, and she also looks like AI. So this is definitely the worst result I've seen today. There's not even a point in considering this one, and that's the easiest way to find out which generator is actually worth it. Test it with a simple video where it can't hide its limitations. And in our case, it looks like Seedance 2.5 and Kling 3.0 are the winners. But mastering AI videos is not all about creating them using prompts. There's another way that's even more powerful, and I'm talking about using image references instead of text prompts. And the way we do that is with the start and end frame technique. With this, we basically give the AI 2 images, the one it will use at the beginning of the video and the one it will use at the end. It will add the motion between the 2 images, and this makes it incredibly powerful because you get full control over the outcome and you know from the start how everything is going to look. So the first thing we need to do is create the start and end frame. So I'll go inside OpenArt into the image section and and select GPT Image 2 as the model, because it's easily the most powerful one out there. And for the prompt, I'll write this, because I want to get a single glowing ember floating in the middle of pure darkness, which will be the beginning of our video. And for the end frame, I want to get a full phoenix made of fire, so I'll use this prompt. And here are the images we get. So the only thing we need to do now is go back to the video section and choose the option called Start and End Frame from the top. I'll make sure Seedance 2.0 is selected as the model, and then I'll add the start and end frame we just created. For the prompt, it doesn't need to be anything complicated, so here's what I'll say. I'll leave the mode on normal and the audio on. For the output, I'll set the aspect ratio to 16:9, the resolution to 1080p, and the duration to 8 seconds. So let's press generate and take a look. It looks pretty cool how it starts from that small ember and quickly transforms into this entire phoenix. And the start and end frame technique is really good, especially when you want to create these types of transitions. But it's not the only technique that uses images. There's actually a more interesting one that professional creators use in every single AI video, and they do it because without it, your characters will change the way they look from one scene to another. So to avoid that, professional creators create character sheets, which are basically images of their characters. And every time they want to add a character to a new scene, they upload that reference image to the AI, and they tell it that this is how the character looks. That way, they never get inconsistent characters from one scene to another. But now let's see how easy it is to create one of these character sheets. All we have to do is go back to the image section and select GPT Image 2. And now we have to create two characters. The first one is going to be a woman in her mid-20s, and the second one is a man in his 30s, who I'll use later on to create an action video. But for now, here are the prompts I'll use to create the character sheets. And again, I'll include all of these prompts inside the free document in the description, so you don't have to write them from scratch yourself. And here's the result we get. So now, let's actually use them to create two entirely different scenes. So let's get back to the video generator. And for the first one, I want my two characters pressed against a dark spaceship wall under red alarms, where you can see the tension and fear on their faces. So to do that, I'll change the mode from start and end frame to text with references. And for the visual reference, I'll press on From Creation and select the character sheets I just made. And for the prompt, here's what I'll say. The settings stay the same, and the only thing I change is the duration, which I set to 12 seconds. And here's the result we get.
It's getting closer.
I know. Don't move.
In my opinion, it came out looking really good because we have both of our characters exactly the way we designed them, and they play the fear and the high intensity emotions really well. But now, to actually test if it works, let's go ahead and create one more scene with a completely different mood. Let's see if our characters look the same. So I'll delete the previous prompt and add this one. And now let's take a look. This is exactly what I was looking for. Both our characters stay consistent from start to finish in any type of environment or mood we put them through, which is why professional creators use this technique over and over again. But none of this would be possible without a platform that has all the image and video generators in one place. So if you want to master AI video, go sign up to OpenArt using the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.